What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Beyond the Backboard Podcast, another special episode of 2 Minute Drill. My name is Omar, and next to me are my two beautiful co-hosts, Max and Earl. Today, we're going to be looking back at the Mikal Bridges trade to New York, the first trade in 40 plus years for the Knicks and Nets. I'm going to display it here just so y'all can get a rough idea of what we're talking about here, right? So, as the trade is, we're gonna read the trade as it follows. So the Knicks gave up Bojan Bogdanovic, Mamadi Diakite, and Shake Milton, and 6 first-round picks with a second round pick swap. Mikal Bridges, Keita Bates, Diop, and the draft rights to Juan Pablo Vallet was sent to New York in return. And I believe also Malachi Flynn, right? Oh no, that was the other trade. My bad. That was the other trade. But alas, this is the trade. And now we can cut back to us. And Max, you're gonna start. So
Give me my 2 minutes.
give you 2 minutes. I'm gonna 2 minute timer. Okay, 2 minutes start now.
So looking back on this trade, the reason we're doing this video now is because two of those first round picks just got confirmed what they are. The Nets are receiving the Knicks pick from this year, which is 27th, I want to say, in the first round. And they're also receiving the Milwaukee Bucks pick that the Knicks previously owned. That is now the 20th pick in the first round. So two of those 5 picks are 20 and 27. So with that said, I think this was the entire reason that the Knicks made the trade in the first place, is they are banking that all these first round picks are going to be in the mid to low 20s. If there is, I don't think the Knicks foresee any of these picks that Brooklyn is getting to be lottery picks. And if that is the case, Brooklyn trading Mikal Bridges in his prime on a very, very good contract. Remember, he's only getting paid 19 mil this year, and he's only getting paid 19 mil next year, unless he signs an extension. That's a different deal. But 2 years, 19 mil for a very good wing modern player like Mikal Bridges in exchange for Bojan Bogdanovic, who good player, but unfortunately looks like he'll never play a game for Brooklyn. Some role players and a bunch of first round picks that don't wind up being in the lottery. That could go down as an all-time heist for the Knicks, depending on how Mikal Bridges does in this playoff run and his continuing playoff runs with the Knicks. So I think that is kind of planned. Things are going according to plan for the Knicks right now. But the one thing I will caution in saying is this also has the potential to wind up like the Nets' other trade that they did many years ago with Boston, except they got in that trade, Boston was the one scamming them, and the Nets thought that all the picks that they were giving up that they owned were going to be in the low 20s, and it turned out they were like the first overall pick in the draft or a top 5 pick, which is why the Celtics got Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown in the first place. So if the Knicks fall off a cliff in the next year or two, and those picks in 2027, 2029, 2031 wind up being lottery picks, let alone top of the lottery, Brooklyn is going to be sitting back smiling, and they're going to say that they could not care less that these first 2 picks that they're getting are landing in the 20s. So still TBD on it, but it's just kind of right now a staring match between the Knicks and the Nets. If the Knicks blink, this is going to look awful for them. If the Nets blink, it's going to look awful for them. So still TBD, but looks good for the Knicks so far.
All right, perfect. Earl, you want to pick it up here?
Let's do it.
All right, your 2 minutes
Us up.
start now.
Yeah, for me, I feel like this first year of picks mean absolutely nothing for the Nets. I think they made this deal knowing that they would get the best picks in the latter end. That's the only reason you do a deal like this. When you trade Mikal Bridges to the Knicks, you were assuming that they're going to be good for at least the next 3 years. So I'm guessing that's why they kind of elected to get that 2029 slash 2031 pick. I think there is a possibility. Not saying the Knicks are just going to fall off a cliff, but I mean, those are years away. You never know what can happen throughout that time. So I'm guessing the Nets kind of thought, hey, why be mid with Mikal Bridges? Instead, we can just be mid without him and have draft assets to go with it. So I think that was kind of their thought process going into it. As far as the Knicks, I think it made sense. They were trying to make a big move to kind of fill out their roster. They wanted a wing player who can score, who can defend, to add next to Brunson and OG Anunoby. I mean, so far, you guys 3rd seed in the NBA, so I guess it's working out pretty well. I know as far as like offense, maybe he hasn't been exactly what he's been as a Brooklyn Net, but obviously not. I mean, Jalen Brunson's there. He has to share the ball with Karl-Anthony Towns as well, which I forgot to mention, and OG. So, of course, the numbers are going to go down a little bit. So, for me, I don't know. I think right now the trade makes sense for both sides. I don't think anyone necessarily won or lost yet until we can see what those future picks end up being. Maybe if it's a early first round pick, then maybe the Nets. But if the Knicks end up winning a championship out of this, maybe it's the Knicks.
Yeah. Wow, you got like 20 seconds to go. All right. All right.
Or you want to give anyone a shout out? Shout out.
Yeah,
your
I guess let me
sister?
use my last couple seconds.
Shout out your sister. I don't know. Your nephew. LeBron.
Lakers in 5. All right, ignore my
All
time.
right. So, continuing with my 2 minutes here, I don't. Okay, I'll admit it might have been like a little too much. I do feel like 6 first round picks overall is kind of a lot for a role player that we knew was going to be a role player. I understand that. But what I also understood was that Brooklyn didn't really plan to move on from Mikal Bridges. The Knicks put a deal in front of them that they literally could not refuse. Let's be real. If anybody threw 7 picks in front of the Brooklyn Nets for Mikal Bridges, they would have swooped it up. They would have swooped it up easily. I believe any team would have gotten him for 7 first round picks. But that was the point. He wasn't for sale. He was never for sale. So that's unfortunately what had to take place in order to get him. In terms of in terms of the Knicks side, I'm not sure yet. Again, do I think they'll get a good pick from it? I really don't think so because, to be honest, I think we'll be good for the next 5 years with the squad. I think we'll be fine, and I think we'll be in playoff contention. And I think a lot of these players have yet to hit their prime. So I'm still waiting on like what they can do in the future. But at the same time, I'm looking at it like Brooklyn may have gotten it to be an even deal based on the fact that these picks are probably going to be that mid. Right? So I think it was a good deal in terms of like what we essentially gave up for it. If we're looking at every single asset, looking at mid 20s and early teens or late teens, early 20s, do y'all care? Because I don't. And especially if we're competitive for the next 5 years, borderline finals winner, anything like that, I think it's worth it. I think it's fine. And I think the Knicks are in the same exact spot as they would be. But I miss Dante DiVincenzo. And that's it for me. 2 minutes collective thoughts. What do we think so far, boys? Do we all
I had a question to confirm. Okay, so there is one statement you said. You said I don't think a lot of these players are in their prime yet. Who do you not believe is in their prime yet on the Knicks?
Mikal Bridges, for sure. I think he is a lot
28
28.
Isn't he
Yeah.
27?
or
Yeah, he's
27?
27, but I mean
27, 28.
prime years are like 27 to 30. So, I mean,
Okay, so do you think he's gonna take another jump? That's my question.
slight jump. I don't think it's going to be much, but I think
Okay.
he could be like a 25 point per game scorer.
No,
Um,
yeah, he's at 28 this year. Well, he's 28 right now, by the way.
but
Okay. He probably
believe it or not, man,
So
I
he'll be
know you're gonna
29
say,
next
I know you're
season.
gonna look at me crazy like this, but I think Brunson still has a lot to develop in. Like, call me crazy, but I don't think we've seen the best of Brunson this year at all. I know he's in contention for clutch player of the year and probably the front runner for that, but I still think there's a lot of skill to develop for him, and I still see growth from him. Let's not forget, I just screenshotted this.
Also
I
28.
just screenshotted this, and yeah, that's fine. That's completely okay. I gotta look back at this, but
I would say Papa Gagne
it's
is not in his
it's
prime.
out of 3 players.
I'll agree with
LeBron
that, Max.
James, Michael Jordan, and Jalen Brunson all have more than 280 points and 65 assists through 8 games in the playoffs. Only 3 people to do that: Jalen Brunson, Michael Jordan,
So if you
and
add 2
LeBron
points to that, how
James.
many people? No, just playing. They always find these
Wait.
weird stats.
Earl, I have a question to throw back
Dude,
at
that's
you.
4.
Okay,
I
hit me.
have a question to throw back at you. So is Mikal Bridges the leader of this Knicks team? And if so, isn't it worth it to trade all your
What?
picks?
You know what?
here?
What is
You know what? You
that?
might
Wait,
actually have a
whoa,
point. I think-
whoa.
I think he's probably more of a leader than Jalen Brunson on this team.
Dude, that's
I'm with it.
You're gonna make me crash out. I'm happy that the time ended there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on this episode of 2 Minute Drill. Be sure to check us out on playback every Tuesday and Fridays. Be sure to be there and be square and subscribe to the podcast. Soon
Go watch the
enough,
Minecraft
guys,
movie.
we will be dropping a giveaway. Be sure to
watch it.
subscribe to the channel, comment on videos, and please just be cool. Just be cool in the chats as well. Be cool in the comments as well.
Yeah, be cool
We're
when
all
you go watch the
friends here.
Minecraft
We
movie.
all
Don't throw
love each
popcorn.
other. The Minecraft movie was not that great. I don't like it. But thank you guys so much.
Wow.
Appreciate every
Hater
single one of you
alert.
guys. And
You got a
peace.
chest.